Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I've got this Niagara, which is a really cool game. Cool to me anyway, cool to the owner. It's kind of a family keepsake. Hadn't worked in quite a while. He said like his kid's in college. It hadn't worked since his kid was a little kid, like I think 5 or something. So like 15 years or something like that. So I don't know exactly what I'm getting into here, but I'm going to set the game up. And we'll do kind of an initial triage on it here. I was in the process of setting this up. I was going to yank out the power cord, so I didn't have to put that on there twice, and because I do that a lot. And this power cord is absolutely shot. So those are shorted. So it looks like this is probably like the original wire, or close to that. Yeah, it's still got the cat gut tied down there. So this part's original, and then somebody has, maybe soldered, maybe not, but they've connected on a semi-modern, and it's probably decades old, wire here to plug in. But let's just look and see what's underneath it. Well, they are individually wrapped. What do you want to bet? Are they soldered or are they not soldered? Comment below before I look. If you said not soldered, you were correct. So this thing definitely is going to get a new power cord. So I'm just going to throw this inside for now, and I'll throw the head on. It's pretty cool. It's got 2 of the original bolts for the head and 1 that's not original. So I just grabbed this, about cut myself. It's got sheet glass, which means it's like not tempered. You see that little break right there? It looks like a little lens where a piece is busted out. Tempered glass won't do that. It's real sharp. I just trying to slide it out, and about slit my hand open. So you got to be careful handling this. I'm probably going to try to put a piece of regular tempered glass in here. I'm about to go get a whole bunch of it next week. So I just lift up the Playfield. That looks like one of the tilt balls that go. That looks like the one that goes in there. Not too much to see. Hopefully those. Nope, that's not the schematics. So the schematics are not in this game. Oh. IPDB. What else we got in here? Oh yeah, advise location, tapping the bottom of the game will turn it off. This game is equipped with a special tap transformer to maintain flipper action at the voltage, moving the red wire. Basically, it's telling you can high tap this sucker. By moving on these lugs, you can go from, I think that's probably the high tap right there. So let's look at all this, just kind of seeing what's going on. That's kind of sticky. It's one of the slingshots, I believe. Yes. That's a little bit better. So that one's sticking in the coil, I believe. Yeah, everything just gunky and sticky. Oh, that coil looks pretty hot. That's a flipper coil, actually. Oh, and there's also this down below, so it goes to something. So we'll be on the lookout for a coil that's missing a plunger. I don't see one right off the top of my head. We'll see. I don't know. This is okay. What does that do? Oh, that moves the holes either. Oh, those turn into gobble holes. So that's kind of cool. So it can be so I guess I'm pretty sure if you land in this one, if it's closed, it'll go dunk 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 dunk. But if in this mech is going, you drop into doom. And doom may be worth it. It may give you a ton of points, so you may want to drop into the doom, into the gobble hole. So it's really dirty, but not a whole bunch of wear. There's just a little bit around these holes here. And I talked to the dude, and he's kind of want to just leave them as it is. He kind of wants the patina look, so we're going to keep that. We're just going to clean it. I am going to put all new pops. These things are going to be shrunken. That one's got a screw in it. A lot of them, you can see the remnants where there's been tape. This one's kind of glued. Anyway, those are supposed to probably be yellow, and they're almost white. See, the skirts are still yellow, and they're all chewed up. So a whole bunch of pop bumper parts to buy, and we're going to keep the posts, keep the original posts. Geez, those are yellow. Normally I always get new flipper bats, but I don't think you're going to get yellow ones. I don't think those are actually, they're not, when I first saw them, I thought they were white and just kind of got ivory color, but those are yellow with red text. I don't think I've ever seen those before. I don't think those exist. So might keep those also. I don't know, the back glass is almost perfect. A little raised up right there. And there's a little bit down the bottom. I'm thinking I may triple thick the back glass. So I don't think this guy's plugged this thing in a while because of that power plug. So that's going to be the first thing I do. And so it just plugs in. One goes to one side of the transformer and one goes one side of the fuse. These fuse holders are probably past their prime. Actually, that one doesn't feel horrible. Maybe we'll keep it. I guess the first thing I'm going to do is put a new power cord in this thing. I was just looking at the service plug. It's got the original wires too. Yeah, you can't leave that because it's hot all the time. So I don't know if I'll replace this wire, but I'm going to cut it out at a minimum. I would probably just leave that plug in there. If anybody ever in the future wants to rewire it up, they can, but I'm probably not going to rewire it. But I'm going to get rid of it because that is a short. I mean, it's crumbling off. You see. So this stuff is it's crusty. It's falling apart. So it's got to go. So I'm just kind of getting ready to rewire this thing. I decided to go ahead and put new fuse holders in here. They're actually still pretty good shape. They're kind of crusty, and this guy lives pretty far away, so I don't want it to fail based on bad fuse holder. There's 2 wires going to, that'd be the common, and then 2 here also. I believe that would be the hot one. Normally there'd be the hot and the one with the little tiny little the braids on them, the little furrows, if you like. Linear indentions would be the negative side or the common, but this wire has those on both leads. But I believe this is going to be the switched side, so I'm going to put the hot here. I don't have the schematics here yet. I'm going to have to get a copy of them. A lot of times schematics will be on the back door, but on this game they're not. So maybe they were, but they're not anymore. I don't think they're posted anywhere, no. So anyway, I'm going to desolder this and get this resoldered. I went ahead and put a lug on the ground, so I'll go ahead and ground the transformer. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it does a little bit. Okay, I got this thrown back in here with a new fuse. I'm going to zip tie this back up to the old harness. Pulled the old fuse out. It was a 10 amp. Instead of the clearly labeled 5 amp. Talking about clearly labeled, so way back in the day, they used to stamp these things 5 amp, and I mean all these stamps, they're easily readable. They're very nice. A little later, they went to labels that they glued in. Those were okay, except the glue fails and the labels are strewn all over the place. They fall off. And then later, they just stopped kind of labeling stuff. Then you have to go in the manual. Nowadays, most games either don't have a manual, or if they do have a manual, it's mostly going to be online. You got to download, and it'll be like 5,000 pages. I'm only exaggerating a little bit. Like a JJP manual, it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of pages. So I mean, you can search them digitally, so that helps a little bit. That is a superior technology. Just stamp the wood. I'm just saying. So I went ahead and swapped out these fuse holders too. They call for 10 amps. They've got 15s in there, so I'm gonna put the proper 10 amps. So this game may be a fuse eater. I don't know. We'll see. So I got this tidied up mostly. I'm gonna go through and adjust and clean all these switches, like those switches there. The top one's normally closed, it opens. The bottom was normally open, it closes. So that one's adjusted properly. I'm gonna run a file through there and clean them. And this one, there's 3 pair of normally open. They're all adjusted fine. Not only do they close, but the passive side, you might say, it's moving. And as it's doing that, it's scrubbing slightly. So it's those are good. So there's only those 2 relays and the score motor, and that one looks all burnt up, but it's probably fine. It's probably the hold circuit. So not gonna be a problem, probably. Django's ready to go outside. He's always ready to go outside. Score motor, there's not very much on this. That one is normally open, or I guess in the home position it's closed, but that one's operating. This one here, there's 2 sets. Open and a closed one, and they're changing state. And then there's another pair. I'm probably not going to be able to film it very well. There's another pair underneath there. I'll check those out. And see, that one is not the passive side, you might say, is not moving very much. There's not much pressure on there. It's probably all right. Might tighten that one up a little bit. And so there's another stack on the bottom there and a stack on the bottom there. Anyway, I'm gonna get a file and file all those also just to clean them up. So I use this file here. Steve sells it. It's part number FILE. And I do one modification. I sharpen the end of it. I put it on the, just so it's when they're closed, it makes it a little easier to push in there without having to get it quite as open. So that's what I use. And you've probably read or heard somebody say, you never use a file on pinball switches. They're talking about solid state switches where the contacts are gold plated and it's passing a 5-volt digital signal. These are passing current for power to run a coil. These are tungsten. Totally different thing. So don't worry. This is what you're going to use. Or some people will use a Dremel with a wire wheel. They'll make these things look spotless. But it's kind of overkill in my opinion. This unless you're wanting to make a show car. I'm not into making a show car, not for under the hood anyway. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do here. I just noticed I'm missing a tilt. We need a tilt. Got to have a tilt. Otherwise, people will be throwing this thing all over the place. One more thing you should do is just like grab these wires and just give them a little gentle tug or not so gentle tug, and sometimes they'll come off in your hand. And if they do, you know that you have found a problem. So this note here about high tapping, if you look here on the coil, it says normal. I think it says start. So this normal one, if you put that normal one over to high, it will raise the voltage going to all the coils by about 10%. So it'll give a little bit more boost. Sometimes these old games, it benefits them, in my opinion, to move that wire from there to there. Some people have very strong opinions about not doing that. And mostly that's not the way the game was made, blah, 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 whatever. If they don't like it, they can move it back. Sometimes I will move it, sometimes I won't. I basically do it based on my personal taste on how the game is playing. If I think it's going to benefit from moving over here, I'm going to move it over there. If I don't, I'll leave it here. And if somebody has a different opinion, they can move it. But it's moving one wire. So I think the strength of people's opinions is, it's overwhelming to me. It's like, geez, go find something else to argue about, because this is not that big a deal. And by the way, so this game has a ton of plays, 99,932. And so I haven't plugged this in, obviously. I just got the wire in there. But this odometer, assuming this coil works, that odometer does work. 93. So I just cheated one. So, just for instance, these games were like a nickel, but back in those days, that was the equivalent of $1 today. So that's, in today's dollars, that's $100,000 of play. So that's a lot of money. I know it wasn't at literally 100,000, but yes, it was in terms of today's dollars. If you put inflation and bring it up to today, it is $100,000 of play. And if you look at it in today's metrics, so it's a lot of money. This game earned well. There's a chance that was not the original one. I was just talking to Steve on the phone. He was kind of telling me about these games, and I think this is the original one. And all the screws are, flat heads or on here. It looks like an original to me. Anyway, so that's about what I'm going to do down here. I might throw this Playfield in there, but really what I need to do is, I did take this apart. I was going to see if there's supposed to be a bell in here. I don't think there is, maybe, but I don't, maybe that's where, I don't know. I'm going to have to look, see if there's supposed to be a bell. On the rockets there was supposed to be a bell on this mechanism, but it had been removed. But I don't think there is a bell. I think on that one there was like a lever here that hit a bell, but on this one I don't think there is. But all these three mechs are pretty free, but I definitely want to go ahead and clean them up a little bit. Give it another 100,000 miles. That looks like a pretty, not the greatest solder joint right there. I'll have to check out that, but definitely want to go through all these mechs, make sure they're all good, and clean and operating. So I just got through cleaning the surface up of all these. I just sprayed down some alcohol, then a fine Scotch-Brite, just scrub them clean, and then I wipe up all the, before the alcohol dries, I wipe up all the old grease and grime, just get it off of there. And then once this is dried a little bit further, I'll put some fresh PBR grease on there. When I was going through this, I did notice on this one, that little copper braid should be soldered right there. It's not. It probably will work without it, because there's also a wire on the little cylinder, but on these feet that are sprung loaded, so there's also supposed to be wire. So it's duplicative. So either one would work. Both of them would work better. So that one's busted off, and this one here is also busted off. So again, there's this solid wire that's, I don't know if that's stock or somebody's added it. I think the original ones were all these braided ones. So anyway, I'm going to put both these braided wires back on there. And I've already pulled this one off, cleaned up and adjusted the switches. Actually, I didn't adjust them, I just cleaned them. I'm going to do the same for these. Pull them back so I get to the back side of it, check the switches, clean them, and just keep moving forward. I'll show you the back side of this top one here. So when this thing goes home, that switch there is going to open up, and it does. And if I had my other hand, I'd step forward one step. I'll just manually do it with my hand. Actually, I think I can just twist it. There it goes, one switch, and it's closed. It's made. I can tell that because when I wiggle it, they wiggle together. So that's adjusted properly. So that's looking good. And there's a another switch down here, and every step, that one closes also. So this is looking good on the back side. So not much to do there. Here's the back side of that lower unit. It's a similar situation. They've got a couple of switches here. Actually, 3 of them. And on this, in the stroke switch, you got a couple. One closes and one opens. And everything looks to be adjusted just right, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, there's this one here also. Didn't look at that. So when this one plunges, it closes that one. So that one stays closed as long as it's in the home position. And then as soon as it steps up, that opens. I guess that's the way it's supposed to work. One step forward, and then it's free. Okay, so I guess that seems to be the way it's supposed to work. So I'm gonna run a file through these real quick and call this one good. I just put this Playfield back in here, and I found this old flipper. That could have moved up there in shipping. That's not the one from the game, because one of the game's there. So that, who knows, that could have been shorted. Could have been the part of the reason why this game ended up in my shop. Well, powers, that would have probably blown a breaker in the house, because that wire was shorted. So anyway, that wasn't going to help anything. So I've gone through everything here. I've gone through most of the stuff here. I got through the switches. I haven't pulled this out to clean the wheel, but I did clean the switches there. Went through all those switches there. Still, I don't think I think the plunger is supposed to have like a nylon tip on there. And I think it's supposed to have a base to land on, either rubber or otherwise. I don't think that's probably going to grab it. I think it's too low. So haven't done anything with Playfield yet. At a minimum, what does that say? Replace a 1 amp slow blow. Well, that is a slow blow. Let me see if it's a 1 amp. That was a 1 amp slow blow. I'm gonna plug the sucker up. I'm gonna have to get the coin door, plug that in there, so if I want to use the coin door to start it. And kind of haven't gone through any of this, but I just want to kind of see where we're at here. I've learned to film when you plug stuff in, because sometimes that's when the most exciting stuff happens. Okay, nothing yet. Okay, my coin door laying down there on the ground. Stick my finger in there and hit that. Got some stuff locked on, I would say. Can't tell what's locked on. Well, shoot. Just trying to feel for heat. That one feels a little warm. I thought I saw a wisp of smoke for a second, but I don't think I did. I think it might have been this one here. I may need to let it run a little longer, see if something gets hot. I think I will. I think I'll let it run a little longer. That seems a little heavy to move. Not too bad. So I was talking to Steve about this game, and this game holds the distinction of the first game with the trap hole. According to him, he said it was hotly debated within the ranks of Gottlieb whether or not people would go for a trap hole. So when I saw this game, I thought it was like a gobble hole, but it's not. It's a trap hole. So it went the end of the ball. This thing holds down, which allows your balls to get out of the traps in the top and roll back. So it traps your balls there, and you get points for them. If you fill up all 4 of them, you probably get a special or something. And into the game, this mech slides down to get your balls back out. And this was the first one ever to do it. And apparently it was popular enough because they made more of them. So I think I'm gonna power this thing back up again and try to figure out what is hanging up. So it is this one. I did feel a little temperature on it. So if I start a game, this locks down like that and stays locked down. And I can see here that that is like an end of stroke switch for this whole plate. So you'd think that would disempower this some way or somehow, but it's not. I don't have the schematics. When I was talking to Steve this morning, I ordered a set of them. So not really prepared to try to track that down without schematics when I've already paid for them. I just got to wait, well, it's Monday. I might get them as early as Friday, Friday or Saturday, probably I'll get them. So anyway, I think I'll hold off trying to diagnose anything. In the meantime, I'll just go through and clean all these switches. Hey, maybe I'll fix it. You never know. Started right here, started cleaning these switches. Clean that contact, clean that contact, clean that contact. Came up here, and this one's like, it's like, what's going on here? Then there's that screw. This was the same one where that flipper was sitting there. But anyway, there's a chance that not being able to move, I don't know what C goes to because I don't have the contacts, but that might have locked on that. This kind of stuff where it's like, it's easier to fix stuff without knowing what you're doing than to fix stuff knowing what you're doing. If this fixed that, that's a lot faster to find a screw, just going through and cleaning and adjusting and yanking wires and just kind of eyeballing stuff than to do it logically in the sense of like trying to, okay, this is powered, what's holding the power on, And really, when you got a screw in there, the schematics don't really tell you why it's not working. They just tell you the track of things. You still got to come back over here and find that screw and get it out of there. Ultimately, that's what it's going to lead you to. But there might be 5 or 6 other things that logic circuit goes through, including this one. So just for fun, I'm going to plug it in, start a game, and see if that's still locked on after taking that screw out of there. Probably so, but maybe not. Okay, I just plugged it in. I'm just going to hit this relay here. And nope, it's still locked on. Okay, well, we didn't fix that problem, but we did fix a problem. Whatever C controls, it was not going to work. So anyway, I'm going to keep going through this. Found another problem. This wire here is not soldered to that contact. So yeah, and that's probably not the problem, but it's sure as heck a problem. Whatever the B controls, B's not going to work until that gets back on there. So I'm going to solder that on there right now. I was looking about this game and in the stroke, and I noticed this thing has 3 lugs on it, like a flipper switch. So a flipper switch uses the in the stroke switch, so when it gets down, that opens and this goes from high power to low power so that this can stay in the locked position or the on position for an extended duration so you can hold your flipper up and cradle it. And I think that's what they've done here, because if you think about it, that goes down, that allows the balls to fall in here, run to the ball trough to start a game, to start a new game. So I was thinking, okay, well that needs to hold that open for a certain amount of time to get all the balls out of there. Maybe it waits, but I don't see any switches in the ball trough at all. So maybe it's just the first switch hit but it's not resetting the game. It's not. So I got all the parts ordered and the schematics ordered, but Jane has dug into this thing. She stripped it down this morning. Here's all the pieces and parts. There's really not that many parts on the top of this Playfield. And you can kind of tell where she hasn't cleaned. I just did a little bit of spot right there. Spot cleaned it. And then she's done all this and the top. And back to total grime. And somebody has repainted this. I didn't realize when they first dropped it off, and pretty poorly, I would say, because I was looking online. I saw those are supposed to be red. I was like, that's black. And I looked just a little bit closer. You see, they just like 3rd gradered it. So this is, and it's coming up. So I don't know what we're gonna do with this. Maybe just clean it really well. Whatever comes up, and then maybe repaint it black, slightly larger diameter so it's round. I don't know. It's kind of goofy looking now, I'd say. most of the red that's showing there is not even, I think the skirt would probably cover it. I mean, we could just paint the black there in the center, leave it. I don't know. This guy wants to keep like pretty much the natural state. Like he doesn't want to touch up all that stuff. So, but that looks pretty ratty. And that's not original. That's somebody else's touch up. So anyway, it's getting cleaner. So she'll do several passes of cleaning. This is just the first one, and it's coming along. So James left me and the dogs with his Viagra, or Niagara. How about Niagara, not Viagra? All stripped down. She's quilting like mad. The dogs are going crazy just with the one with me. I got this box of parts. Steve got me the skirt, and he also got me the scorecard for it, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to cut that out, and it fits right there. Really cool. Anyway, when I left this, which it's been a couple weeks, thing won't boot. So I was kind of just reading through the schematics. There's really not much on this thing, and I was looking for like all this reset stuff here. It looks like it's all controlled by S. So I go over here, look at the key. S isn't even listed on this thing. I mean, I don't know what S is. So I just like, okay, I'm gonna look at them. Fortunately, there's still labels on these, E and R, and I found it. Oh, that's a pop bumper. That's for the light on the pop bumper, or the dead pop bumper. S is this one here, and it's one of those goofy add-on ones where like when this thing trips, it hits another one that's hanging off the side. And those, on those other series, when this piece is down here, there's a series of Gottliebs, and that type of switch is really bad for not making. To be honest, I did not clean that particular switch because I couldn't get down to it. I'm gonna have to unbolt this whole assembly here and pull it down and get to it and make sure that switch, that's the first thing I'm gonna do is open and close that, then make sure it's open and closing. So 'cause I don't think I can hardly get to it. Not really. I just don't think I can do it. So fortunately, that tape is fragile. I need to retape that because honestly, if that label wasn't there, I'd kind of be hosed. And it's that tape is done. It's probably 30, 40 years old. So I need to preserve that for the next dude. So here's that funny switch that's kind of attached to the side. It's kind of a jerry-rigged deal as far as I'm concerned. So when that goes down, those close, and it is closed, but I don't know if it's passing current or not. Like I said, I haven't cleaned it, so I'm gonna clean it now. That may or may not be the issue, but good chance to clean it regardless. I've gone through these, but I guess I didn't do it very well because this next one to it, that switch right there should be closed right now, and it's not. So when I trip this, it's just going to open it further. So see, it's that one there, the left one that's moving, and right there, it should be closing, and it's not. I don't know what that one is. It's right on the end, so it must be. Oh, that's the tilt. That maybe somebody's defeating the tilt, so it wouldn't tilt. Or maybe maybe it's constantly tilted. I'm gonna put it back the way it's supposed to be. I was in the other room for a minute, and I had this game plugged in. I don't know if you see that smoke. You probably can. Roached that sucker. I mean, I don't know why it was getting power. That's the flipper, but it was. Dang. This one was already kind of burnt. It's not hot. That one, I'm not even going to touch it because it's on fire. I walked in the room. I was in my back area working on some stuff, and I walked in here and just saw smoky smelling. I was like, dang. I'm gonna go turn on the exhaust fan because it stinks in here. I'm gonna set a fire alarm if I'm not careful. Well, I've got the fan going. I got a suction fan in the back, pretty big one. Got the smoke out of here. The dogs are chilled out. They were freaking. So yeah, this flipper switch here was closed. I'll open it up a little bit here. So that's probably been closed the whole time. I just never let it run. I never had it plugged in or run long enough to smoke it, but I smoked it. It has one of those metal coils, and I think that this coil is probably old enough where there's not a, it was actually wrapped around that center coil, so that center, I should say the sleeve is, I don't believe the sleeve is replaceable in this coil. It's actually wound around the sleeve. I believe that's the case. So this coil may still be good. I don't know. I'll find out shortly, but not shortly. What I'm gonna tell you is I went through the schematics. They're sitting over there. Spent about 10 or 15 minutes, and I realized this thing is working the way it should as of now. So I guess I can plug it back in now because I'm not gonna roach it again. Plug it in, the hold coil. If I start a game, hit the start circuit. Got to hit this switch, which is hard to do. Let me get a. I'll just. Well, shoot. Well, I can't. This is not resetting. There we go. Let me start this whole sequence over. Okay. I'm gonna hit the start switch. Okay. So what that did, it released the ball. It also, this is kind of sticky, but it released the balls here, and it released the balls from here. And that's what it's supposed to do. Now what it's waiting for is a score. So as soon as I hit a score, that's like the first ball relay on slightly older games. It released that, it released that. What it's not doing is resetting any of these things. So what I've decided, I've got this thing all disassembled, and I'm just gonna wait till Jane gets back from her quilting conference and puts this thing back together, and then I'm gonna work on it, because there's just too much stuff laying around, and I'm roaching coils, and so I'm gonna wait. I've got plenty of other stuff to do, and so I'm gonna do some other stuff. So I pulled out this slingshot mitt. I'd cleaned it up and new sleeve and everything. It was still kind of catching sometimes. And what I realized is there is a little notch that's hanging in. So as this thing goes up and down, it has to slide across there. And there's a little, you can't see it, but I can feel it. There's a little nodule or a hole that's worn down, and it doesn't want to slide. So when it goes down like that, it doesn't want to slide back up. So I'm going to punch this pin out of there, get it out of there, and try to grind that thing flat again so that it doesn't catch in there. It's my goal anyway. So I got a little 1/8 inch punch. I'm going to punch this roll pin out of there, or hopefully just punch it to the other side so it stays in. It doesn't come loose. But it makes it a little bit easier to get going when I put it back. Really need to put this on a vise so I got something harder to beat against. I think I'm going to go to the vise. I'm not sure how well y'all are going to be able to see, but there's kind of a divot there and there's a divot there. And actually it goes like this. So the divots are on that's the one that it's catching in right there. Because this little pin sits in there and it's not wanting to slide as when it's down. This thing has to slide up, and it's just hanging in that little round spot there. I gotta find something to basically notch it. It's just a little tiny point, just knock off that point and it'll be fine. Well, my points file is just the right width. I don't know if it's gonna be aggressive enough, but I am going to give it my all and see if I can get this thing filed flat again. Okay, a few minutes later, I got that thing pretty smooth, so I'm going to put it all back together, and hopefully that's going to fix it. Okay, I got that pin back in there, and it's nice and slick, so I think that's going to do it. Throw it back in the game and find out. Got this put back together. Super slick now. It was not like that before. It got better after cleaning up because it was kind of gunky in here, but it was still catching on that little nub in there. And I've got my 2 flipper coils, so that's the next thing I'm gonna throw in here. So I just pulled out this ball plunger. I was gonna clean it up, and I was looking at the tip. I didn't notice this before, but somebody has, I'd say it's brazed on there. Like, I don't know if it's some kind of old leg level, or just somebody just manufactured that. I don't know. Kind of crude, kind of homemade, kind of cool. I'm leaving it. I'm gonna buff it up a little bit. It may polish up. I don't know, but I'm gonna definitely. It's kind of sticky. I'm gonna clean it up. We'll see what it looks like after it comes off the buffing wheel. I've been playing this Niagara for about an hour. I just had a great game. I got 35 points. So it's got I got 35 points and I got ABCD, which is it. So that earned me 1 credit, and I earned, I had four total. So I got another 3 credits. I got my first at 30. I'm not sure, like 32, 33, 34 or something. Anyway, I don't know exactly what the numbers are for the credits because well, like here, there's points. There's that card here that tells which one of these pins are for different points. The card for this one's missing. I don't have it. Anyway, it's set the way it came in. The first one's at 30. This scorecard here, first one would be 40. Honestly, 30 is hard enough. I mean, I've played like 20 to 30 games, and it's hard to get that. So the rules in a nutshell, so everything, when you start playing, everything is 10,000 points, except for these center ones, which are 50,000. As soon as you hit one of those, it will light the corresponding pop bumper and turn that 10,000 point into a 1 point. The only 1 point shots are the pop bumpers when they're lit. So you have to turn them on, but you sacrifice a ball to do that. So you're either going for getting balls in here and hit pop bumpers and get the single digits or the double digit scores, or you're going for the high score, the millions. I never have got the high score. I didn't actually look what it said. The card says 5 million. I've got like 2 or 3 million. I mean, that's 2 million right there. Like that last game, I got 2,810,000. And that was a decent game, but almost all of that was from there. There's no other big shots on here. Everything else is 10,000 a shot. Everything else. I don't think there are any 100,000 point shots. So, I mean, it's like you got to grind it. So it's a lot of points to get it to 4 million or 5 million. Anyway, pretty fun game. I never have got all 6 of those down. I've got 5 of them down, but I didn't get the 6th one. Because if you get those 6 down, it lights that for a special, and you can just keep hitting it. I did realize why. I think I mentioned that these weren't lit. Those come on when the special lights up. So that's just like, bam, we're going to give you some light so you can see what you're doing once you got a special going. Anyway, I'm going to play a few games. Oh, I got the coin mech working here. You put a nickel in there and start a game. You put a penny in there, it will properly reject it. So anyway, I'm going to put you all in the stand. I'm going to play a few games. Well, I thought I filmed the last game because I had a killer game. I got all those filled out. That was a credit, and I got the points up to 38 points, which was another 3 or 4 credits. But I wasn't recording. So anyway, I got this thing working on the nickels. I'm gonna throw a nickel in there, and we'll see what I can do. So I'm gonna start by trying to get 1 through 6. And if I start filling any holes, then I'm going to go the pop bumpers strategy instead. That was an attempt to get 1, which was pretty bad. Well, I might get it. I don't know. Nope. So every snap is 10,000. So 590. That's not too bad considering I didn't get in the hole. to my strategy of hitting the top doubles is not working out very well. My strategy is doing anything. See if I can. Let me have to work on that a little bit. Okay, I got the one. Such a game. This is a pretty horrible game so far. See if I can get that two. Nope. Maybe. There we go. If you go down there and don't hit a hole, it's like 80% of the time you drain. Okay, that was pretty horrible. Let's try it again. I'm going to do a strategy of pot luck this time. And of course, I immediately hit the number one. So I'm going to switch. I'm not committed yet. I'm going to show my first ball. That was an attempt to shoot up through there, but it's okay. Not doing too bad. I got a 1 and a 2. Okay, I need a good plunge. Ooh, that might get it. Oh, there we go. Six balls, or 5 balls, and 6 doublers. You gotta do a little bit more than that. You know, you gotta get back up there, hit 2 in one pass. Okay, so try to go balance it and get it back. Wrong side. Wow. Last ball. Got nothing going here. Yeah, horrible. Okay, this I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do that one again if I can. Booyah! Get back up to the 2. Maybe. Yep. They've got them completely opposite. So if you get one, you're probably not going to get the other one the same trip. That's evil. Those people from Gottlieb were evil. Ah, stole my ball. Okay. That's not the strategy I was going for. I need a real soft plunge. That's not good. Oh, maybe. I got it. Bounce it. Ah! That was close. This game will teach you to plunge. Ha! Nope. Boom. Thought that might do it. Okay. Really don't want to hit the center because it's going to spill my ball. I don't want that at this point. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm close. I'm close. Oh, this is the last ball. I've got to do it on this ball. Damn it. Okay. Well, they literally have those numbers as hard as they could be, you know. But I want to play it again. That's what it was all about. Making the money. Got to make that money. As Joe likes to say. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, click like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that stuff. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.